Shabbat Shalom, family.
Shabbat Shalom.
Hey, you all. We happy that we get to enjoy this day again with you, family. Another day to fellowship. And family, we covering a deep topic today. We talking about keeping the Sabbath, keeping Yah's Sabbath.
Yes.
And Sister Abby, this is probably one of the questions we get asked about the most.
Yes.
Yes. I can't think of another question where people continuously write us about how we keep the Sabbath, what day is the Sabbath, what calendar do we follow,
do we even keep it at all?
Right. So people ask us this question in different forms, and we really addressed it before. Well, we kind of touched on it in our feast video. If you haven't seen it, family, go check it out. But we said, you know what? Let's do a study specifically on the Sabbath. Let's address it once and for all. Let's answer all the questions. Let's clear things up for you all, family. Hopefully, this lesson will be edifying to you all. It'll answer a lot of your questions because, I mean, there's different doctrines when it comes to the to the Sabbath, family.
This is a controversial topic.
Yes, and especially since we've been in this for over 13 years. This is, I mean, we've heard many different doctrines regarding this. Some say, guess what? I follow the moon. Others say the Sabbath, you know what? The Sabbath isn't from sundown or sunset to sunset, evening to evening. Some say, you know what? The Sabbath is on during the morning time. It's during the day.
Yeah, we've heard that too.
Y'all drop some doctrines that you've heard about the Sabbath. I mean, just different things that people believe. What's some other ones that you've heard of?
Really, what you mentioned.
Come on.
That's the ones that I've heard. Like, yeah, that's the ones that I've heard.
You've heard some too about the moon, right? Some that they follow by the moon.
I thought you mentioned the moon. No.
No, I was saying some of them they say to eat, and I mean like morning time.
I think you mentioned the moon. I thought you did. If not the moon, I could have sworn I heard you say the moon. But yes, the moon. They do say that they follow it by the moon. I think that's the first one you mentioned.
Some say it's Sunday.
Yeah. Oh, right.
Some say it's Sunday.
Yes, they have some people that actually say that it was on Sunday.
Yep.
They have that too. And before we move forward, I just want to say this, that please let's keep the comments respectable towards each other as brothers and sisters, because we do know that this is a controversial topic, and we do know that people do it different. And the purpose of us doing this is to bring clarity on things from a spiritual perspective, but definitely not to cause contention. And we want the comments to remain respectful, even you know, like after we finish with this message, and anybody come in the comments, we ask that you please be respectful, because really this is what this walk is about. It's not about us contending. It's not about who, you know, us boasting in the law. We all trying to do the best we can with what we have in the land of our captivity. And so we just ask that you please be respectable towards the brethren, you know, our brothers and sisters in the comments.
Absolutely. All true, family, all true. I mean, we going to cover this thing from front to back. That way we going to see how it was really done. What are we doing today? You know, some other questions we get that people ask too. They ask us, family, what do you actually do on the Sabbath? What things can you do? What can't you do?
Right.
That's the different things that people ask, family. So we're going to cover all of that, what they were doing in the scriptures. So,
and we actually had people that have written us too that ask us, you know, they say, I've never heard you talk about the Sabbath. So do you guys, you know, celebrate it at all? And we've gotten people that responded that sent us messages that was actually, I'm not talking about these particular people that what I just mentioned, but we've had messages before, like from people who was like, okay, if you can't tell us when you celebrate the Sabbath and how you celebrate the Sabbath, then I don't want to listen. I'm not going to listen to you all. And I'm like, wow.
That's something, huh?
If only they knew. If only they knew.
There's a reason why we don't boast in it, family, and we're going to cover all of that today. But you're right. I like what you said. And that's what we're saying, is that a lot of this stuff that is what people don't realize. And again, this is something that we address throughout different lessons. In fact, I printed something that I want to show you all, and we was talking about this earlier, especially dealing with the moon, family. Mm-hmm. There's people who follow, we know traditionally everyone pretty much follows Friday evening to Saturday evening. Mm-hmm. But there's some family that they follow the moon. They follow the lunar, they call it the lunar Sabbath. Mm-hmm. So how this works, family, and I printed it out. However the moon, and we're going to cover this, however the moon, it tells us to read the moon, to go by the moons. The Sabbath is not going to fall on the same day every week.
Right.
So I want y'all to look at this. This is a calendar that I printed.
You might not be able to see it.
You see on here, family, it says the Sabbath falls on Thursday. One week it falls on a Thursday. Another week it falls on a Friday evening. I'm going to show you some more dates. Let's see. We're going to cover this too. Some of the Sabbaths, family, they fall within feasts, within Yah's feast days. So according to their calendar, family, the Sabbath will fall on Monday. On different days, family. Monday, Tuesday. Different days, family. And you said you had something to where even within those that follow the lunar Sabbath, right, they don't even agree on the dates.
They don't agree on everything, on all the dates. I was reading up some stuff on the lunar Sabbath, and now this is not to...
We're not bashing the lunar Sabbath.
If that's what y'all put on you all's heart, then so be it. And you can understand why we're saying this if you stay tuned to the end of the message. But when we were reading it, it was saying, when we were reading about it, it actually said, let's see, it said, it says, this is an article where someone was writing about how they keep the lunar Sabbath, okay? And they said, let's see. The Sabbaths fall on the 8th, 15th, 22nd, and 29th days of each Hebrew month. Instead, some lunar Sabbatarians observe the 7th, 14th, 21st, and 28th. So those second dates that I just mentioned are dates that happened before the dates that I just mentioned. You know,
so like
that I mentioned
apart,
first.
So like 24 hours apart.
Right.
One group believes the 7th, another group believes
it
falls on the 8th.
Yes.
So even within that community, they don't agree on the dates.
They don't agree fully. And so we just wanted to share that. And what Brother Rashad just shared too from the other calendar, because that's not the dates. That's not all the dates we see on there. Let's see what that calendar didn't have.
The 14th.
What, the 14th, 15th, 16th?
No, it's totally different dates.
We seen the 4th, we seen the 11th,
the 19th, the 26th. This was all in January. In February, they have the 2nd, they have the 9th, 17th, and the 24th. Right. So it's different dates, family.
So it's different dates. Again, this is not to criticize.
Right. Are they right? Are they wrong? We're going to see, family.
Right.
We're going to cover that.
Just actually showing like what different people believe in this walk. They may have some, I believe they do have some other things that they believe in concerning the Sabbath.
Right.
Because I'm going to be honest with you, new things continue to keep popping up.
Yes.
As we in this walk. And it's very critical for all of us in these perilous times we're living in to remember what you've learned and continue in it. You know, don't be going here and there and to and fro everywhere.
Shiny object syndrome.
Right, because a lot of new things are going to start popping up. We're noticing that more now than we've ever did.
Right.
New things are popping up. So just be careful with that. But again, we're gonna expound to let you know our stance on it.
Absolutely. So before we dive into it, family, I just want to acknowledge something first that we all have to acknowledge. We all have to admit, family, our ancestors, you know what, family? When they woke up, they didn't go to the wall in their, what they probably had a hut or something, I don't know, whatever dwelling they had in their dwelling place. They didn't go to the wall and say, you know what? Let me look on the calendar. What day is it? Oh, guess what, Sister Abia? Today is the 6th. Pay your light bill.
True.
They didn't have calendars, family.
They didn't have calendars.
They didn't have watches. What's that thing on the side of you?
Phones?
Yep.
They didn't have phones.
They didn't have phone. They didn't have these gadgets or paper or anything where they
Internet.
could see, exactly, where they could see what day, what time it was.
They did not have that.
So, hats off to my brothers that follow the moon. Really, that's how it was. That's how they told time back in the day, family. Between, according to the moon and the sun.
Right.
That's how it was established.
Yeah.
In fact, let's read that. Genesis chapter 1, starting at verse 14. And we're going to do 14 through 16. But you can read it. I'm gonna start at 15. You can start right here.
Okay. Then Yahuwah said, let there be lights in the firmament. I mean, in the firmament of the heavens to divide the day from the night. And let them be for signs and seasons and for days and years.
Wow. Yeah, throw up that Maccabees. Jubilee. 2, 8, 9. Genesis, she read 14. This is chapter 1. She read 14. I'm going to read 15 and 16. And let them be for lights in the firmament of the heavens to give light on the earth. And it was so. Listen to this, family. Then Yah made 2 great lights. The greater light to rule the day. Now we can say that that's the sun, right? The light that rules the day.
Yes. Yes. That was the light.
That was the light for the day. And what it says, and the lesser light to rule the night. We know that's the moon, family. And it says he made stars also, right? So we see in it at the beginning that Yah said he made 2 great lights, the greater light to rule the day and the lesser light to rule the lesser light to rule the night. Jubilees went a little bit deeper. Let's read that. Jubilees chapter 2, starting at verse 8. And if you don't have the book of Jubilees, family, I'll put the link in the description. It's on our website. It's a free PDF, free resource where you can go check out to follow along.
It says, and on the 4th day, he created the sun and the moon and the stars, stars, and set them in the firmament of heaven to give light upon all the earth. And to rule over the day and the night.
Right.
And divide the light from the darkness, which is what we just read in Genesis.
Right.
And Elohim appointed the sun to be a great sign on the earth for days and for Sabbaths.
What?
For days and for Sabbaths and for months.
Wow.
And for feasts.
Wow.
And for years. And for Sabbaths of years, and for jubilees, and for all seasons of years.
Wow. Wow. So this is saying the sun. Wow.
Jubilees,
so right.
Talking about the
it's
sun.
Talking about
right
the
here.
sun. We're gonna use that to determine the day. We could say is between the sun and the moon.
Right.
We're gonna use that to decide what day it is.
Right.
When is the feast? When is the Sabbath?
Right.
What months? When the years start? All these things, family. So that's how Yah set it up, family. That's is what our ancestors were following. They were following the sun and the moon.
Right.
So that's deep, family.
It is deep.
So we have that established. Let's go to when he set up the Sabbath. Genesis chapter 2, starting at verse 1. You want to read that?
It says, thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the hosts of them. And on the 7th day, Elohim finished his work that he had done. And he rested on the 7th day from all his work that he had done. So Elohim blessed the 7th day and made it holy. Because on it, Elohim rested from all his work that he had done in creation. You all remember that verse. Remember that, because this is going to be key to some things that we're going to bring up.
That's verse 3, right? He says, so Yah blessed the seventh day and made it holy, made it set apart.
Yes.
Because on it, Yah rested from all his work that he had done in creation. Now, family, that word rest in that verse, that's Hebrew number 7673. And guess what what's the definition?
To cease?
No, what's that word?
Shabbat.
That word is Shabbat, family. So
rest is Shabbat.
Because on it, Yah Shabbat from all his work that he done in creation. So Yah Shabbat. He rests. What's the definition?
To cease, decease.
Desist.
Desist and rest.
To cease, desist, and rest. So that rest sound like that's something that Yah was very much, that was important to him. That's something that he wanted us to focus on. And we hear about rest all throughout the scriptures. You continually hear that same pattern. You hear it in multiple verses, family, how he wants us to rest. We're going to cover that. In fact, it started with Adam, family. Let's look at that. Genesis chapter 2, verse 15. It says, then Yahuwah took the man and put him in the Garden of Eden to tend and keep it. Family, that word, put, that's the Hebrews number 5117. And that word is nuach. Definition, family, to rest. So we say to rest, it says, let's look at that verse again. Then Yahuwah took the man and rest him in the Garden of Eden to tend and keep it. So he rested Adam in the Garden of Eden, family. Wasn't the Garden of Eden paradise? Perfection. He didn't have to worry about nothing. Adam didn't have to want for nothing, family. He was in perfection before sin came upon the earth, right?
Right.
So it seemed like this is what he established from the beginning. That rest, how important it was.
Yep.
That's deep, family. Follow along. So let's see when he introduced the Sabbath to the Israelites. Well, let's see how he keeps. Let's read a couple of verses, seeing how he said he continued about the rest with how it's important to him. Let's look at a couple of verses. Exodus 33, starting at verse 12. You want to read that?
It says, then Moses said to Yahuwah, see, you say to me, bring up this people, but you have not let me know whom you will send with me. Yet you have said, I know you by name, and you have also found grace, just favor, in my sight. Now therefore I pray, if I have found grace in your sight, show me now your way, that I may know you, and that I may find grace in your sight. And consider that this nation is your people. And he said, my presence shall go with thee, and I will give thee rest.
That's that same word, family, nuach, to rest. Y'all saying, I will go with you, and I will give you rest. That rest is important, family. Deuteronomy 12, verse 10. But when you go over the Jordan and dwell in the land which Yahuwah your Elohim giveth you to inherit, and when he giveth you rest, giveth you nuach from all your enemies round about, so that ye will dwell in safety.
See, in this verse, when you were reading it, something just stood out to me. When he said, give it you rest. And then he said, dwell so that you may dwell in safety. So that rest is now they're going to be dwelling in safety. They don't have to look over their back, over their shoulder. I mean,
right.
At the, looking at
enemies.
Yes, like looking for the enemies. Now they're going to be dwelling in safety.
Right.
And so that was a form of rest. You're going to be safe.
You're going to be safe. You're going to dwell in shalom and peace.
Just like Adam, right? When he was in the garden,
he had no worries.
He had no worries.
It was blissful.
It was
perfection.
And it was peace.
It was paradise.
Paradise.
And this verse here, this is when he's talking about he's bringing them into the land of milk and honey, into the land of Canaan, family. When you come into that land, I will give you rest. We're going to see a pattern with this, family. We're going to see a pattern. What Yah is establishing, family.
So I'm starting to notice, too, that the rest always followed something. It was something that was taking place before the rest came each time.
Right.
And then Yah just came back and like, okay, now this work was done.
Now I'm going to give you rest. That sounds like how he established it in the beginning when he did all the work, right?
Pretty much.
So think about it, family. So now let's jump into when did he establish this for the Israelites? Because remember, they were in Egypt. They were slaves. But he took them out of that, right?
Right.
He brought them out of that slavery. So now I'm going to start giving you laws and commandments. That way y'all going to have some order within the camp, within the assembly. So let's look at that, family. When did he establish it with the Israelites? Exodus chapter 16, starting at verse 22. You want to read it?
And so it was on the 6th day that they gathered twice as much bread, 2 armors for each one. And all the rulers of the congregation came and told Moses. Then he said to them, "This is what Yahuwah has said. Tomorrow is Shabbat, rest.
It's a Sabbath, it's a Shabbat rest.
Right. A holy Shabbat to Yahuwah. Bake what you will bake today, and ball what you will ball, and lay up for yourselves all that remains to be kept until tomorrow." So they laid it up until morning, as Moses commanded, and it did not shrink, nor were there any worms in it. Then Moses said, "Eat that today, for today is Shabbat to Yahuwah. Today you will find it."
You will not.
You will not find it in the field. 6 days you shall gather it, but on the 7th day, the Shabbat, there will be none.
So get what y'all can right now, because on the Shabbat, it's nothing.
Right.
It's nothing.
Right. And then at verse 27, now it happened that some of the people went out on the 7th day to gather, but they found none. And Yahuwah said to Moses, "How long do you refuse to keep my commandments and my laws? See, for Yahuwah has given you the Sabbath, the Shabbat. Therefore, he gives you on the 6th day bread for 2 days. Let every man remain in his place. Let no man go out of his place on the 7th day." So the people rested on the 7th day.
And that word rested, that's that same word, Shabbat, 7673. Hebrews, Strong's number 7673. He wanted them to rest. He wanted them to Shabbat, family. So, and we can see right here too, when he established the Shabbat with the Israelites, when he's telling them to rest, he's telling them too, y'all don't go nowhere. Y'all stay put. No man is to go out of his place. So he's issuing a commandment, family. The next time they introduced it, it was in what everybody says the 10 Commandments. But we know that's over 613 laws and commands. Exodus 20, chapter 8, it says, "Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days you shall labor and do all your work, but the 7th day is the Shabbat of Yahuwah your Elohim. In it you shall do no work, you nor your son, nor your daughter, nor your male servant, nor your female servant, nor your cattle, nor your stranger who is within your gates. For in 6 days Yahuwah made the heavens and the earth, the sea, and all that is in them, and rested the 7th day. Therefore Yahuwah blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it." Made it set apart. So Yahuwah basically saying, family, nobody in your household, none of your animals, everybody getting a rest. And the 7th year Sabbath, the land gets a rest. You're not supposed to plant anything.
Yeah, so those sevens go again.
Yes, yes, completion. Talks about it again. So we see in this verse, Exodus 20, he talks about how when he made the heavens and the earth, he did it in 6 days. And I created all these things for you. And on the 7th day, I rested. So I'm kind of getting y'all to do the same thing. 6 days, y'all have to work. 7th day, y'all rest. Think about these things that I've done for you. All these things, family. Deuteronomy chapter 5, verse 12. Let's look at that again. You want to read that?
Deuteronomy 5:12. It says, observe the Shabbat day to keep it holy, as Yahuwah your Elohim commanded you. 6 days you shall labor and do all your work, but the 7th day is a Shabbat of Yahuwah. Well, is the Shabbat of Yahuwah your Elohim. In it you shall do no work, you nor your son, nor your daughter, nor your male servant, nor your female servant, nor your ox, nor your donkey, nor any of your cattle, nor your stranger who is within your gates, that your male servant and your female servant may rest as well as you. And remember that you were a slave in the land of Egypt. And Yahuwah your Elohim brought you out from there by a mighty hand and by an outstretched arm. Therefore Yahuwah your Elohim commanded you to keep the Shabbat day. Remember what I said? It's like something that happened before that rest. He said, brought you out of that land.
I brought you out of that land.
Yes. So
I'll even add this. In that land, they were slaves. They were working.
Yes.
So I brought you out of there to give you rest.
So I'm asking you
family.
to make this day set apart.
Make it set apart. You're not going to just set aside this day to acknowledge what I've done for you.
You was in slavery all that time and bondage all of that time. Now I'm giving you some rest from all of that.
That's the least you could do for me.
and that way you acknowledging what I've done for you.
Absolutely. So we see what Yah is establishing, family. Not only for the individual, but for his whole household. Their whole household. Everything that he's responsible for. Servants, the animals. Nobody working. Everybody's resting. Everybody's resting and thinking upon me. What I've done.
Again, I brought you out of bondage, and now I'm giving you some rest from that.
Yes.
I want to say again before we move on, because we know that sometimes people join in a little later. We just ask that everyone please be respectable in the comments towards our brothers and sisters, because we do know that there's differences of opinions when it comes to the Shabbat. But we just ask that you listen to the entirety of the message to understand our point of view on it, and what Yah has given us. And of course, we're going to always be sharing through scripture.
Absolutely. So, the Sabbaths, the Shabbats, they wasn't just a weekly thing. What it said, after 6 days, you got 6 days to work, that 7th day rest. They had Shabbats for the feast days too. We saw it in the calendar, family. There were Shabbats for feast days. Let's look at Leviticus 23, verse 23. And now this is on top of the weekly Shabbats. Leviticus 23, chapter 23, starting at verse 23. Then Yahuwah spoke to Moses, saying, speak to the children of Israel, saying, in the 7th month, on the 1st day of the month, you shall have a Sabbath rest, a memorial of blowing of trumpets, a holy convocation, which is an assembly. You shall do no customary work in it, and you shall offer an offering made by fire to Yahuwah. So he's saying, and this was for the Feast of Trumpets, you shall have a Shabbat rest during that feast also. So we've seen how he wanted them to rest. That was important to him, family. What was this purpose, family? But before we talk about the purpose, I just want to say too, I talked about people holding their fire till they hear the whole message. I want y'all too, family, just to remember this, that we talked about this in our New Year's video, the documentary, family. If you haven't seen it, check it out. The calendars, family. We see where he's talking about this feast on the 1st day of the month. The 7th month, on the 1st day of the 7th month. We know that the calendars have been all confounded, family.
Oh, yes.
They have been all confused. Now we're under the Gregorian calendar?
Gregorian calendar, yeah. If you do a study on the history of the calendars, they were experimenting with some things in the calendars. And a lot of the stuff, too, was them putting some of their own...
Yes.
What would we call it? Their own practices.
Yep.
In it.
And honoring themselves in a lot of... Because think about it. All of our days of the week, they named after these pagan
gods.
Yep. The months.
The days.
Yes.
Monday, Tuesday, like all of these things are named after pagan gods.
January, the April, the Marches, that's all pagan god names and all that stuff like that. So it's all confounded, fam. So that's why we're saying just be patient, hear the whole message out. So those that didn't keep the Sabbath, they had a penalty to pay. Let's look at that penalty, family. Exodus chapter 31, starting at verse 14. Says, you shall keep the Shabbat, therefore, for it is holy to you. Everyone who profanes it shall surely be put to death. For whoever does any work on it, that person shall be cut off from among his people. Y'all not playing. Y'all say they're going to be put to death, family.
Right.
Work shall be done for 6 days, but the seventh is the Sabbath day, is a Sabbath of rest. Set apart to Yahuwah. Whoever does any work on the Shabbat, he shall surely be put to death. Therefore, the children of Israel shall keep the Shabbat to observe it throughout their generations as a perpetual covenant. It is a sign between me and the children of Israel forever. For in 6 days Yahuwah made the heavens and the earth, and on the seventh day he rested. That rested, family, that's Strong's number 7673, Shabbat. And was refreshed. So y'all saying if y'all go to work, I warned y'all back when y'all was in the wilderness. I let y'all slide.
Right.
But now I'm telling y'all, if y'all work, you're going to be put to death.
You're going to be put to death. It's
not going to happen. So one of our Israelite brothers, they thought y'all was playing.
Right.
They thought y'all was playing, family. Let's look at this story. Numbers 15, chapter 15, starting at verse 32. You want to read that?
It says, now, while the children of Israel were in the wilderness, they found a man gathering sticks on the Shabbat day. And those who found him gathering sticks brought him to Moses and Aaron and to all the congregation. They put him under guard because it had not been explained what should be done to him. Then Yahuwah said to Moses, Yahuwah
said it.
The man must surely be put to death.
Wow.
All the congregation shall stone him with stones outside the camp. So as Yahuwah commanded Moses, all the congregation brought him outside the camp and stoned him with stones. And he died.
Y'all said, you thought I was playing?
He died.
Y'all thought I was playing.
He died.
You out there picking up sticks.
He died.
Picking up sticks.
And he died.
Woo, woo. Y'all say put him to death.
Put him to death. We were so disobedient.
What?
Oh my goodness.
Stiff-necked people. I just gave you the laws and commandments, what to do, what not to do. You still want to go out there and act like you don't have no sense.
It's really sad,
right?
You know, when we reading through scripture and stuff, it's really sad. Yahuwah is so merciful.
Yes, he is a merciful.
You see how merciful he is before he got to this point.
Right. Yeah. Well, we saw Yah's mercy all throughout the scriptures. But sometimes he just had to make an example out of people, family.
Yeah.
Y'all think I'm playing.
Right.
Hold on.
You continue to be in rebellion.
Right. That's why we're in the condition where we are today. Because y'all thought I was playing. Hold on. Just like he did the man. Yes.
Like, stone him. Not stone him. What he said, was it stone? Yeah, stone him. Stone him to death. Yes.
Yep. So, something you want to add?
Oh, not right now.
Okay. Let's look at some more Shabbat rules, family. So we saw that Yah said if you work, you're going to be put to death. We saw too in what was it? What we read when there was Yah was dropping manna from the sky. Told him not to collect. Told him to stay put.
Mm-hmm.
Don't go nowhere. That was some of the rules that he was laying down, family. Let's look at some other ones. Exodus chapter 35. Now, this is what you could do. This is what you can't do. Exodus chapter 35, starting at verse 2. It says, 6 days shall work be done, but on the 7th day there shall be to you a holy day, a Shabbat of rest to Yahuwah. Whoever doeth work therein shall be put to death. You shall kindle no fire throughout your habitations upon the Sabbath day. No gathering, no working, no leaving,
no cooking,
no starting no fire, no putting the fire out. I heard some in that protected community. They don't start a car, they don't press the elevator button. It's something they say they don't anything dealing with electricity, they don't touch it.
And you all know who we talking about, the people in Jerusalem.
Exactly, who they call the people.
Sad that we have to even
right, we can't even say it. Exactly. But that's some of the things that they do. But Yah said, you shall kindle no fire throughout your habitations upon that day. Jeremiah 17, starting at verse 22. You want to read that?
It says, neither carry forth a burden out of your houses on the Sabbath day, neither do any work, but hallow the Sabbath day as I commanded your fathers. So set it apart as I commanded your fathers to do.
Neither carry forth a burden out of your houses. Now, family, a burden, that could be a load. That could be a burden as far as stuff that's on your mind. I mean, you carrying burdens around, heavy hearts. You're not to carry them things out your house. You're not to present that day. We focusing on Yah. We only worried about Yah, family. We finding our shalom, our rest in Him, family. So this is what Jeremiah is talking about. Exodus 16. Well, this is kind of what we read. Exodus 16. Let's read 29. Exodus chapter 16, verse 29. See, for that Yahuwah had given you the Sabbath. Therefore he giveth you on the 6th day the bread of 2 days. Abide ye every man in his place. Let no man go out of his place on the 7th day. So the people rested on the 7th day. You know, we're talking about the Sabbath, family. No working, no leaving, no fire, no heavy burden. Don't carry a burden out of your house. Rest. Simple.
Rest.
Nehemiah chapter 10, starting at verse 31. You want to read that?
And if the people of the land bring ware or any victuals on the Shabbat day to sell, that we will not buy it of them on the Shabbat or on the holy day, and that we would leave the 7th year and the exaction of every day.
Yep, and that 7th year, that Shabbat year, they're supposed to wipe away all debts. I mean, that was serious. That was serious, family. So we seeing that Yah saying, look, no buying and selling. No working. No kindling a fire. Do not leave. Stay put. All these things, family, this is what Yah said not to do. But as we always say, our brothers and sisters, our ancestors, hard head, stiff neck. Yeah, that stuff you want to add or no? Okay.
Not yet.
Israelites, they profaned it. Stiff neck, family. All these things that Yah said to do, our ancestors, they did it, family. Defiled his day, and Nehemiah talked about it. You want to read that for it? Nehemiah chapter 13, starting at verse 14.
Remember me, O my Elohim, concerning this, and do not wipe out my good deeds that I have done for the house of my Elohim and for its services. In those days, I saw people in Yahudah, which English is Judah, treating wine presses on the Shabbat.
Treading wine presses.
Treading wine presses on the Shabbat. And bringing in sheaves and loading donkeys with wine.
Grapes. Didn't I just tell y'all not to carry a burden on
grapes, figs, and all kinds of burdens. All kinds of burdens.
I just told y'all not to carry a burden.
All kinds of burdens.
Treading wine presses, bringing sheaves.
Really?
Loading donkeys with wine, grapes, figs.
It's like they didn't even have a Sabbath.
Come on, y'all, we're going to the flea market.
It's like,
load up.
Shabbat where?
What's Shabbat? We're going to the market.
It says, which they brought into Yerushalayim, which it has in English Jerusalem, on the Shabbat day. And I warned them about the day on which they were selling provisions. He warned them. He said he warned them on that day. Men of Tyre dwelt there also, who bought in fish and all kinds of goods, and sold them on the Shabbat to the children of Yahudah, that Judah, I tell ya. Judah in English. And in Yerushalayim.
So pause right there. Family, we see that, what was it, Jeremiah, where it said there's no buying and selling? No, that was Nehemiah. That was Nehemiah 10, where it said no buying and selling. But we see in Nehemiah 13, they're doing all that, family. They're carrying a burden.
Whatever y'all said not to do,
selling,
they're doing.
I mean,
and more.
It's like they going to the marketplace. Even the men from Tyre, they bringing it. We selling fish. We got some fish. We got fish plates. We got barbecue. What y'all need?
Oh my goodness. Father,
oh my goodness. They say all kinds of goods and sold them not before the Sabbath, not after the Sabbath. They sold them on the Sabbath, family. In Jerusalem, where the temple was. You want to keep reading verse 17?
Then I contended with the nobles of Yahudah and said to them, what evil thing is this that you do, by which you profane the Shabbat day? Did not your fathers do thus? And did not our Elohim bring all this disaster on us and on this city? Yet you bring added wrath on Yashrael by profaning the Shabbat. So it was at the gates of Yerushalayim, as it began to be dark before the Shabbat, that I commanded the gates to be shut, and charged that they must not be opened till after the Shabbat. Then I posted some of my servants at the gates, so that no burdens would be brought in on the Shabbat day. Now the merchants and sellers of all kinds of wares lodged outside Yerushalayim once or twice. So they still was trying to come. They lounging outside. The only thing that helped them not to get in is because Yahuwah sent what? Who was that? The priest? Who was that?
Nehemiah sent the so it was at the gates of Jerusalem as it began to be dark before the Shabbat that I commanded the gates to be shut and charged that they must not be open till after the Shabbat.
Oh, okay. This is not the one with the priest.
Then I posted some of my servants at the gates so that no burdens would be brought in on the Sabbath day.
So y'all have to do all that. I'm sorry.
Yah's like restoring the order, using Nehemiah to restore the order back to in Jerusalem because they buying and selling. They are carrying heavy burdens. What I told y'all not to do. They basically doing everything that Yah said not to do.
Everything.
Profaning his Sabbath. Profaning his day, family.
They did the total opposite of everything.
And you wonder why Yah dealt with us like that. They wonder why. Why we in the predicament that we in.
Father, forgive our forefathers. Oh, my. When you read that, it's disheartening to read.
Right.
And it was always that Judah, that Yahudah.
Yep. We read, was it last week when they talked about Israel and Judah?
But
said how Judah was worse than Israel. Dang. No, Judah.
Oh my goodness. And then we wonder why.
Right.
Anywho.
Family, what I find interesting in these couple of verses is that Nehemiah said, what's it, verse 19? He said, so it was at the gates of Jerusalem as it began to be dark before the Sabbath that I commanded the gates to be shut and charged that they must not be open till after the Sabbath. Then I posted some of my servants at the gate so that no burdens would be brought in on the Sabbath day. Why? Nehemiah knew the law. He knew what Yah said about not working and stuff like that. But he had them posted at the gate on the Sabbath. Why would he have them? Isn't posted up and stopping people from coming in? Doesn't that kind of sound like work? Why would he do something like that, family?
Well, he's on assignment doing something for Yah, right?
Well, we're gonna see why would he do such a thing. You had stopped at verse 21. You want to read that?
It says, then I warned them and said to them, why do you spend the night around the wall? If you do so again, I will lay hands on you.
What?
If you do so again, I will lay hands on you.
Nehemiah said, man, look, I warned y'all already. Move away from around here. Take that stuff away from around the city. Y'all just focusing on buying and selling.
Right.
On the Sabbath. Nehemiah said, I'm going to lay my hands on y'all.
Lay
Come
my
around
hands
again.
on you.
Come around again. Hold on.
They didn't play back then. From that time on, they came no more on the Shabbat. And I commended the Levites. That's what I was talking about right here with the priests. And I commended the Levites that they should cleanse themselves and that they should go and guard the gates to sanctify the Shabbat day.
That's deep, family. So we see that Nehemiah he restoring order back to Jerusalem, back into the city. And if y'all don't know the story about Nehemiah is the one that when they was in captivity, the king sent him back to go to Jerusalem to rebuild the wall and stuff like that, and he brought people with him. So he's coming back to try to restore order after they had set things up. So that's what Nehemiah was doing, family. Nehemiah said, I'm gonna put hands on y'all. We did all this work and y'all let us come back and rebuild the city, and y'all coming here and y'all profaning what y'all did. Y'all profaning Yah's day that he told us to rest, not to buy or sell, not to carry heavy burden, not to do none of these things. But that's what y'all doing. Stiff neck, family. Stiff neck. But y'all say I'm gonna deal with y'all. Y'all said, you see, I gave you all these commands, I gave you all these laws. Y'all still not acting right. Isaiah chapter 1, starting at verse 10. You want to read that?
It says, hear the word of Yahuwah, you rulers of Sodom. Give ear to the law, the Torah of our Elohim, you people of Gomorrah. To what purpose is the multitude of your sacrifices to me, says Yahuwah? I have had enough of burnt offerings of rams and the fat of the fed cattle. I do not delight in the blood of bulls or of the lambs or goats.
And what he's saying right here too, family, we talked about this in our feast days. This is, and the Sabbaths, as we saw too. Some of the feast days, Sabbaths consisted in those feast days. They were doing burnt offerings. They were doing incense, sacrifices. Y'all said, I'm sick of all that. Because look what y'all did. Y'all don't honor none of that. Y'all focus about the wrong things.
Says, when you come to appear before me, who has required this from your hand? To trample my courts? Bring no more futile sacrifices. Incense is an abomination to me. The new moons, the Sabbaths, and the calling of assemblies. I cannot endure iniquity in the sacred meeting. Your new moons and your appointed feasts, my soul hates. They are a trouble to me. I am weary of bearing them. When you spread out your hands, I will hide my eyes from you. Even though you make many prayers, I will not hear. Your hands are full of blood.
Y'all said the new moons, the Sabbaths, and the calling of assemblies, I cannot endure iniquity and the sacred meeting. So y'all say y'all just wilding out. Y'all disrespecting, y'all profaning my days. Y'all not taking this serious. Isn't that mercy? Isn't that mercy?
And this is a heart thing as well, as we continue to keep saying. This right here is showing it again. This is why we say it's no amount of physical works.
Right.
Is going to get us into the kingdom without a heart transformation. It doesn't matter how much works we do. If our heart is not right, that will not get us into the kingdom of Yah.
Absolutely. Because that's basically what y'all saying in this. Y'all saying, you bringing me these burnt offerings. You bringing me these sacrifices. But this is not right, family. So it don't mean nothing to me. Nope. You can do all of that.
It's an abomination to me, he said. An abomination. We know already abomination is something that he detests.
Exactly.
He hates.
Exactly. Like y'all making a mockery out of it.
Yes.
That's what y'all doing. Ezekiel 20. Chapter 20, starting at verse 12. It says, moreover, I also gave them my Shabbats to be a sign between them and me, that they might know that I am Yahuwah who sanctifies them. Yet the house of Israel rebelled against me in the wilderness. They did not walk in my statutes. They despised my judgments. Whichever man does, he shall live by them. Wow. Just do what I tell y'all to do. You're going to live. Simple.
That's all he ever wanted.
And they greatly defiled my Sabbaths.
Oh my goodness.
Then I said, I will pour out my fury on them in the wilderness to consume them.
When he's bringing all of those things upon them and they still sinning, they still doing, like doing whatever they want to do. Like, oh my goodness. Wow.
It's a stiff-necked people, family. Defiled his day, made a mockery out of Yah in front of the other nations. So, family, we see how Yah established the Sabbath, what they could do, what they couldn't do, what our ancestors did to defile it, how Yah was upset with them because they was making a mockery out of it. When y'all was saying, really, all I want is I want y'all to rest. I'm not asking for much. Rest and think upon these things that I've done for y'all. Y'all focus on the wrong things, family. I'm not asking for much, and you can't even do that. Y'all treading wine presses. Y'all loading up donkeys. Selling fish plates.
Right, now look you. Wow.
Oh my
might as well say that.
Right.
That's probably what it would look like today.
Right.
Modern day time.
Right. Absolutely. But so that was Old Covenant. Let's see, did Yahushua come and preach something different? Were they doing it different? Was the Sabbath even kept or talk about? Because in religion, what they tell us, forget about the old, the new. That's a whole new different thing.
Right.
Were they doing something different, family? Were they doing something new? Let's talk about it. Luke chapter 4, starting at verse 16. This is Yahushua, family. You want to read that?
It says, so he came to Nazareth, where he had been brought up. And as his custom was, he went into the synagogue on the Shabbat day and stood up to read. On the Shabbat day. He went into the synagogue and stood up to read.
Now, if we look at the synagogue, family, we really don't even see synagogue in the Old Covenant. Because remember, they had the temple and stuff.
Right.
But synagogue, we looked that up, that's just an assembly. That's all it means, family, a meeting place.
And you might have some, too, who go to these physical church buildings today. And so they may say, well, hey, they had churches in the Bible. But that's totally different because we know that the word church, I don't want to say we know, because
right.
not everybody do know, but the word church is assembly, and it was always referring to the body of believers. Yes. And so when we see the synagogue, the synagogue, if you think about it, that was a place where they went to read the law.
Exactly.
They had the Torah going on in there.
Exactly.
They didn't have people wilding out with secular music.
No, it wouldn't
bringing the world into the church.
They weren't playing all that. No,
they didn't have that. If you come in this house, you better have it on your mind, because we're gonna be reading this law.
Absolutely.
We're gonna be reading the Torah.
Speaking of Christianity and the church, we got a documentary coming out. I want y'all to stay tuned and watch it. We worked a lot on this. This is something that we've been talking about. So we definitely want y'all to check that out, share it. We're gonna break down the origins of Christianity, family. Yeah. Because we're talking about the assembly, what it means, who was the church, right? What they actually did in the scripture. So we're gonna break that all down, family. Right. So it's gonna be a good one. Like we said, we put a lot of work into this.
Preferably.
Right. We hope y'all enjoy.
We put a lot of work into it.
Yes, we put a lot of work into it. And it's something for you to share with your family members. That's why we make these documentaries. So, because a lot of people don't know. Right. Like how you said when you were talking about the church, like, well, people know, but no, a lot of people. Then
I thought about it.
Right.
Like, not
they
really.
Don't know.
I can't assume just because we know, because I always want to remain humble. Exactly. I can't assume just because we know what the whole world knows. It's not true, because we're noticing that people are coming into the knowledge of the truth every single day. Every day. They are waking up, and understanding that, hold on, we've been lied to.
Exactly.
And it's all of us. It's really all nations have been lied to.
Yes.
Some already knew about it, and some is like, no, I didn't know this. I'm so shocked. And I'm talking about like other nations outside of Israel. You know?
Right. Absolutely. So let's continue reading. We seeing that when Yahushua was a kid, he went into the synagogue on the Sabbath day
and stood up to read. So what was he reading?
Torah.
We read scriptures where it said he was reading Torah.
Right. So this next scripture, family, this is one of the big debates that they have when it comes to the Shabbat. What you can do, what you can't do. So let's look at that. Matthew chapter 12, starting at verse 1. You want to read that?
It says, at that time, Yahushua went through the grain fields on the Shabbat, and his disciples were hungry and began to pluck heads of grain and to eat. And when the Pharisees saw it, Pharisees, I tell you.
There you go. Look at one.
What?
What they doing?
Pointing that finger and begin to. I read this already. Wait, let's see. And when the Pharisees saw it, they said to him, "Look, your disciples are doing what is not lawful to do on the Shabbat.
We gotta kill them.
Tattletelling.
We gotta kill them."
But he said to them,
hold on, let's stop right there. Now we saw in the Torah, and this is where they getting it from. What y'all say? What? Stay put. Can't go anywhere. You can't do no work. Right. So the Pharisees looking like, hold on. Y'all in the grain field? What they said? They was plucking corn. They was hungry, plucking heads of grain to eat. So they're not only working and moving around, they eating too.
They eating. But remember, they said the disciples were hungry. They were hungry. So
verse 3.
Yahushua said, have you not read what David did when he was... Now, this is from the Old Covenant.
Yes.
What David did when he was hungry. And, well, he and those who were with him. So, not just David. Those who were with him, too. How he entered the house of Elohim and ate the showbread, which was not lawful for him to eat.
Nope.
Nor for those who were with him, but only for the priests.
Yep.
Or have you not read in the Torah, in the law, that on the Shabbat the priests in the temple profane the Shabbat and are blameless? Yet I say to you that in this place there is one greater than the temple. But if you had known what this means, I desire mercy and not sacrifice.
Hallelujah.
You would not have to condemn the guiltless. For the Son of Man is master even of the Shabbat.
Now we gotta unpack this one, family. Now this is so deep. Yahushua, again, he always taking it to a spiritual level. Always spiritual. Pharisees, again, y'all physical. They breaking the law.
Pointing that finger. Boasting in the law.
Remember when we read Nehemiah, when he posted his servants up at the gate so they don't come in and profane the Sabbath with the buying and selling and everything, posting them up because that would be considered working, right? But but they was doing something righteous, family. Yes, he posted them up on the Shabbat. But it's just like what Yahushua was saying about the priests. Yes, the priests would really be considered working on the Shabbat because they're doing the sacrifices and all these things on the Shabbat, but they're doing something righteous for Yah.
Righteous for Yah, yes. And the disciples, they were hungry, but then you going and trying to condemn the very people who are going out to
spreading
minister to people, spreading the word, and leading people to Yah, and you want to condemn them because they hungry? What? They need to eat. So they found opportunity. So you rather them just starve and die?
And you rather kill them. Now take those messengers away, spreading the truth, spreading the word, because they hungry and they eating.
Right.
They eating some
Why
grain.
they didn't go get them some food? Since they want to complain about what they're doing.
On that. They broke the law.
They're focusing on the physical, but not the heart.
What
about the heart of these disciples? Why you not there? Why you not doing like the disciples? But you gonna come and you gonna down them because they hungry?
He says, verse 7, but if you had known what this means, I desire mercy and not sacrifice. I want that heart. You focused on the wrong things.
Yes. Yes. For the Son of Man is the master even of the Shabbat, and that's going to all unfold too as we continue to read.
Right. Let's continue reading verse 9. You want to keep reading?
Now when he had departed from there, he went into their synagogue, and behold, there was a man who had a withered hand.
Wait up. He went into the synagogue. He departed. He left a place, and then he went into the synagogue. I thought the law said they had to stay put. They couldn't leave.
He went into the synagogue. That's where he went.
Sound like he was moving around, right?
He went into the synagogue.
Okay. But according to the Pharisees, you're not supposed to do that. They're supposed to stay put, and then you're supposed to kill you.
Now, what if somebody would ask the Pharisees, why you out here? I thought you were supposed to stay put.
That's what we said.
Because how can you see? How can you see what they doing?
Thank you. Why are you not resting?
So wouldn't you be breaking the law?
Why are you not resting? Why are you not chilling? And what you doing?
What you doing? Right.
Being a busybody.
So if they would have gone and said, let me go get my brethren something to eat, that would have been the mercy part, right?
Absolutely.
But
brother, y'all hungry? Exactly. Brothers, y'all hungry? I got something for y'all.
You see what that type of spirit does, though? When you operating in that type of spirit, you can't even see the good and what the people are doing. You can't even practice mercy.
Nope.
But we want mercy from Yah.
But we can't show it to our brother. Come on, family. Something wrong, right?
Y'all know what we talking about when we say that. But where
verse 10?
It was 10. Okay. And behold, there was a man who had a withered hand, and they asked him, saying, is it lawful to heal on the Shabbat? Really? That they might accuse him? Oh my goodness.
Trying to set him up again.
So they're trying to accuse somebody for trying to heal a man with a withered hand on the Shabbat. Then he said to them, what man is there among you who has one sheep? And if, oh my goodness, this verse here. And if it falls into a pit on the Shabbat, will not lay hold on it and lift it out?
It's the Shabbat. I can't save my sheep. Just let the sheep die.
Woo!
I can't save my animal.
Of how much more value than is a man than a sheep. Therefore, it is lawful to do good on the Shabbat.
Y'all heard that, family? Repeat that.
Therefore, it is lawful to do good on the Shabbat.
It is lawful to do good on the Shabbat.
That's a law. If you say it's lawful, that's a law.
It is lawful to do good on the Shabbat. I could post up my servants at the gate to stop them from buying and selling in Jerusalem on the Shabbat. The priests can take the offerings and the sacrifices, which we can call working, on the Shabbat because they're doing good. My disciples
and David.
My disciples, right? David could take the showbread.
Right, take the showbread. Right.
Because of who he was, a man after Yah's own heart, and what he was doing.
Right.
Because it was lawful, he was doing good.
Right.
On the Shabbat.
And my disciples could eat.
And my disciple could eat the grain and walk through the grain field because we spreading this word. We preaching this truth. On the Shabbat, family, it's lawful to do good.
I desire mercy and not sacrifice.
Verse 13.
Then he said to the man, stretch out your hand. And he stretched it out, and it was restored as the whole as the other. Then the Pharisees went out and plotted against him, how they might destroy him. Oh my goodness.
Because he healed somebody.
Whoo. And let me tell you all, which I'm sure, look, it's nothing new under the sun.
Nothing new under the sun.
This thing is still going on today.
Yes.
It's
just
still
a different
going
form.
on today.
Just a different form, but I wouldn't say people, some people do. They want to kill you physically. They want to kill your character, kill your reputation. Whatever they can do to destroy you. Yes.
Wrong with you.
Yes. Because
how can I destroy something? Like I got something, I gotta find something.
I gotta find something on you. Because you're not doing it the way that I want to do it. But don't the scriptures tell us to work out our own salvation with fear and trembling, family? As that Cain, that's that Cain seed. Y'all said as long as you doing what's right. That's all you need to focus on. Take care of your business. Worried about the next man. When you said that about he requires mercy and justice.
Mercy and not sacrifice.
Mercy and not sacrifice. Right.
But he did say that too about the mercy and the justice.
He got that from remember in Samuel, 1 Samuel, when Saul when he had went to war. Y'all told him to kill everything, the animals and all that, and he kept some of the stuff.
Oh, right.
And Jeremiah Samuel called him out for it. Right. 1 Samuel 15, verse 22, it says, but Samuel declared, does Yahuwah delight in burnt offerings and sacrifices as much as in obedience to his voice? Behold, obedience is better than sacrifice, and attentiveness is better than the fat of rams.
Obedience to his voice.
Obedience, family.
His ruach.
Y'all gotta bear with me, family. I got a sore throat or something. Itchy throat.
Right.
But
been keeping me up all night.
Right.
Snoring.
Oh man. Even got Brother Rashad snoring, man. I don't snore.
Keeping me up.
So y'all keep me in your prayers, family. I get over this little bug. Hosea 6:6. You want to read that?
It says, for I desire mercy, not sacrifice, and the knowledge of Elohim rather than burnt offerings. So this is in
right in Hosea.
Hosea 2.
I desire mercy and not sacrifice.
Same thing Yahushua said.
And that goes back to, you remember when he said they profane all my days and my feast days, my Sabbaths and all that. Because all they want to do is I can do whatever I want. I can sin. All I got to do is sacrifice.
Right.
Y'all saying I want your heart. I desire mercy. justice. What it said in that other verse when we read that a couple of weeks ago. He said, "This is what I require of you: mercy, justice, and walking humbly before Yah." Let's look at another one. John chapter. This is Yahushua again, family. We talking about the Sabbath, keeping the Shabbat. What we can do, what we can't do. John chapter 5, starting at verse 8. You want to read that?
It says, Yahushua said to him, "Rise, take up your bed and walk." And immediately the man was made well, took up his bed and walked. And that day was the Shabbat. It seemed like he did a lot of healing on the Shabbat.
But he wasn't supposed to do that.
According to the Pharisees, the Yahudis therefore said to him, who was cured, it is the Shabbat. It is not lawful for you to carry your bed.
So that goes back to what it was, Jeremiah. I want to say, don't carry a load on the Shabbat. Man carrying a bed. Not only that, the man was a cripple. Carrying his bed to be healed. The Pharisees didn't have mercy on nobody.
Nobody.
You looking at
I'm not sparing
a
nobody.
Crippled person, a hurt person, somebody that needs healing. You can't do no. You
see what that type of spirit does?
Yes.
This right here is showing us why it's important to remain humble. When it comes to interacting with each other as brothers and sisters. Because look at what it does. It's like you obviously can see they didn't even understand or know what they were doing. That's why Yahushua was like, "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do." Because they couldn't even see it. That they was walking around with hard hearts. They were so legalistic.
Yep.
Everything is the law, the physical. Everything is, I'm going back to the law. Then the law say this, then the law say that. The law. But you missed the mercy part.
Yep.
You missed the most important part.
That's
the mercy, because guess what? We're going to be looking for that mercy when it comes to our relationship with Yah and where we come from, what we've done.
What if Yah don't have mercy on us? What's going to happen to us, family?
How merciful, all these things we've been reading, and we see how merciful he was.
Now, what if when it comes to us? Nah, you remember when you had that opportunity to show mercy to that person? You were like, nope, they breaking the law. Y'all say, I'll demand mercy from you.
And if you judge everybody by the law, you better make sure that you're ready when you get judged. When Yah's ready to judge you, because that's how He's gonna judge you, by every single thing in the book.
Absolutely,
everything.
That's the same thing what the Pharisees was doing, family. Let's continue reading. That's 11, verse 11.
He answered them, "He who made me well said to me, take up your bed and walk." Then they asked them, "Who is the man who said to you, take up your bed and walk?" But the one who was healed did not know who it was. For Yahushua had withdrawn, a multitude being in that place. Afterward, Yahushua found him in the temple and said to him, "See, you have been made well. Sin no more.
Straight up.
Lest a worse thing come upon you." So much you hear a lot in the I'm gonna just say in Christianity. We're not talking about the people directly. We're talking about the doctrines. We're talking about things that we've heard when we were Christians being in the churches.
Right. Just
look at what Yahushua said. You know how you have people that walk around, and because they came on this channel and say that, and they'll say, all we have to do is believe. Faith. That's all we need. It's no works. It's no works. Not understanding what that means about works. It's just that whenever you repent and you turn your heart to Yah, you just start automatically. It's just the Ruach automatically makes you want to be obedient to Yah's voice, to His instructions. And here, look what He said: sin no more. So that means that we're supposed to walk different.
Right.
Because even after that, He's like, I'm going to heal you.
Right.
And I'm going to have mercy on you.
Yep.
But after I do that, I want you to know now, sin no more.
Lest the worst thing come upon you.
So what could that have? That's kind of like, I'm not saying this is every illness, every disease, because sometimes the scriptures even teach that too. It could come upon a person for Yah to show to show his to show his
power.
What is that? Right, there you go. To show his power. It could be for different reasons. But this right here also showed us too that sometimes those things could be because of sin.
Right.
Talking about when a person is dealing with some type of deformity. Because look what he said. He said, sin no more unless a worse thing come upon you. So he was telling him, you go and you sin some more.
Right.
It's gonna be worse than just what you was dealing with.
Exactly.
I'm not saying that's the whole cause.
Right.
But sometimes look what Yahushua said.
Yeah. Like you playing with y'all, don't play with my father like that. Verse 15, you want to keep reading?
It says, not then. The man departed and told the Yahudis that it was Yahushua who had made him well. For this reason, the Yahudis persecuted Yahushua and sought to kill him.
Wow. For healing somebody, family. That heart, cold-blooded.
Yes. And when
heart of stone.
Spirit come into you, oh my goodness. This is what it looks like. Because he had done these things on the Shabbat. Wow. So they wanted to kill him because he done those things on the Shabbat. But Yahushua answered them, my father has been working until now. And I have been working. My father has been working until now. And I have been working.
But I thought you're not supposed to work.
And whoa, now look, there's a revelation that's going to come. So remember this, you all, because this is powerful. He said, my father has been working until now. So that means his father's still working, right?
Yep.
Then he said, and I have been working.
And I've been working.
Therefore, the Yahudis sought all the more to kill him, because he not only broke the Shabbat, but also said that Elohim was his father, making himself equal with Yah. Because he was saying he's my father.
Because he said he's my father.
Oh, you're making yourself equal to him. Hold on.
Oh, my goodness.
Woo!
Pharisees, I tell you.
What?
I don't know. What would you compare him to today, family? Is there an example of the Pharisee in society today? I would probably say, and I love our brothers and sisters, I would just say the ones that's boasting in the law. They boasting in the law, they leading with the law. That's who I would probably, that's the closest thing to a Pharisee. Because again, Yahushua talked about it too when he said, you put heavy burdens on people, but you don't do it yourself. Remember when the little guy came on our channel talking about everybody should keep the law? Then when we asked him about it, no, don't worry about me.
As long as you do.
As long as you do.
We gotta worry. No. You gotta be responsible for your own soul. He was like.
But you coming on a public platform and telling everybody that they have to do it, and you not doing it. What sense that make, family?
Work out your own salvation with fear and trembling.
How you judge others, that's the same measure that's going to be.
We have to be very careful with that Pharisee spirit, because once it comes upon you and you are consistent in that, sometimes it can take over you to where you are lost. You get lost in that. Praise Yah for healing, because I'm sure like they have some who start that way, but they don't finish that way. Sometimes Yah do restore them. But look at what it does, This is how Yahushua was murdered. This is why he was put on the stake. Why they killed him. It was because of the Pharisee spirit. Because they wanted, look what they said throughout. That's all we've been reading, how they was after him. They wanted to kill him.
Absolutely. And family, what we're saying in all of this too, and we're gonna cover this, family, is Yahushua, he came with a spiritual message, family. He went deeper. In fact, he went deeper than the surface level of the law. What we say, he added to it. He brought more revelation. He brought more revelation to it.
Absolutely.
And he's telling them, remember how we talked about that rest in the beginning, family? How Yahuwah stressed that rest, how his Shabbat was important to him, how he wanted to bring the Israelites into rest. He wanted them to dwell in him. He wanted them to rest in the land of milk and honey. Yahushua came preaching the same message. Matthew chapter 11, starting at verse 25, it says, and at that time, Yahushua answered and said, I thank you, Father, Elohim of heaven and earth, that you have hidden these things from the wise and prudent and have revealed them to babes. Even so, Father, for it seemed good in your sight. All things have been delivered to me by my Father, and no one knows the Son except the Father, nor does anyone know the Father except the Son, and the one to whom the Son wills to reveal him. Come to me, all who labor and are heavy laden, heavy burdened, and I will give you rest. This is what Yahuwah was saying from the very beginning, family. This is what he was saying, family. And Yahushua was saying, take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and lowly in heart, and you will find rest for your souls.
So what's he talking about?
My yoke is easy and my burden is light.
So what's he talking about? Something physical right here.
Give me all your bags and all the heavy things and put them on me. That's what he's talking about.
Is that where I'm looking?
I mean, but that's what the person, that the carnal person and the person that's in the law would say, that they focus, because that's what the law says.
You're talking about those
don't
who
carry
boasting
no burden,
in the
right?
law.
Who boasting in the law, right?
Don't
bring me. Yahushua was saying, bring me your burdens.
He said, come to me, all you who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. He said he's going to do that. He said, I'm going to give you rest.
I'm going to give you rest.
Take my yoke upon you and learn from me. For I am gentle and lowly in heart. And you will find rest for your souls. He said for your souls. He didn't say you're going to find rest so that you can relax. He said you're going to find rest for your soul.
Sounds spiritual, huh?
That sounds spiritual to me. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light.
But Sister Abby, Brother Rasha, so y'all saying it's no more Sabbath. Don't keep the Sabbath, because it's spiritual now. Let's keep reading. Let's keep reading. Oh, where we want to go at, family? Let's look at it, family. This is nothing new under the sun. The same debate we're having now. That's the debate that they were having back then. About the days, the times, what should we do? Romans 4, and Paul addressed a lot of this stuff. That's why I don't know how people dismiss Paul's letters.
Right.
Because he addressed a lot of the confusion.
And a lot of what he addressed is happening today.
Exactly.
It really is.
Exactly. Romans chapter 14, you want to read that? At the bottom.
Okay. One person esteems one day above another. Another esteems every day alike. Let each be fully convinced in his own mind. He who observes the day observes it to Yahuwah. And he who does not observe the day to Yahuwah, he does not observe it. He who eats to Yahuwah, for he gives Elohim thanks. And he who does not eat to Yahuwah, he does not eat and gives Yah thanks. For none of us lives to himself, and no one dies to himself. For if we live to Yahuwah, and if we die to Yahuwah. Therefore, whether we live or die, we are Yahuwah's. For to this end Mashiach died and rose and lived again, that he might be master of both the dead and the living. But why do you judge your brother? Or why do you show contempt for your brother?
That's what we was talking about, family.
For we shall all stand before the judgment seat of Mashiach. For it is written, as I live, says Yahuwah, every knee shall bow to me, and every tongue shall confess to Elohim. So then each of us shall give an account of himself to Elohim.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, let us not judge one another anymore,
Mm-hmm.
but rather resolve this, not to put a stumbling block or a cause to fall in our brother's way.
Wow. That's deep, family. Paul said, one person esteems one day above another. Another esteems every day alike. Let each be fully convinced in his own mind. He who observes the day observes it to Yah. And he who does not observe the day to Yahuwah, he does not observe it. So remember, family, at the beginning of the lesson when we pulled out that calendar and we was talking about the lunar Sabbatarians, and people disagree on different days, but isn't that what Paul is talking about? One person esteeming one day over the other, and they thinking that they doing what's right. They trying the best that they can with the information that they have. Why are you being a stumbling block to your brother? You know what? Instead of me, nah, brother, you're not doing it right. That's the wrong day. You know what? Sabbath in the morning time. Why are you doing it at night? It's Sunday evening to Monday evening.
Didn't you know it was by the moons?
Didn't you know you're supposed to follow the moons? Instead of coming with the attitude, man, my brother, he taking our time for Yah. He's spending time with Yah, man. I can respect that brother. We may not agree on the days.
Right.
But that brother's been setting aside time for Yah, getting closer to him.
And he believes in his heart that he's doing the right thing. Because it could be a stumbling block if we come, when it comes to our brothers and sisters and they're trying to do something that is upright, right, something righteous towards Yah, and then we come and make them feel like not worthy, and make them feel low, like you don't know what you're doing. And, just make them feel bad about it. And if they're not as strong in their belief, they can fall off. They can fall away from the belief. If you go and you read the verses before that, it talks about that. About welcome the one who is weak in belief. But I mean, if they believe in their heart, and it don't, some people, they just believe in their heart, they're doing it right. And you know what? Yah's going to credit it to them as righteous. Right.
As righteous.
It's not, you got to do it perfect, because he understands we in the land of our captivity.
Exactly.
To be honest with you, none of us here, we don't know.
Our calendars are jacked up, family.
Our calendars are jacked up.
That's off the rip.
It's so many things that they have lied to us about. I mean, we're all trying to put the pieces back together. Yes, it may seem like in this part, they know. That part, they know. So everybody's confused because this one think I got the 100% truth. This one think no, we really got the 100% truth. But which one is true? Only y'all know.
Exactly, because family, we can promise you, even if the one that says that they're doing it 100% true. If I get out that magnifying glass and say, nah, brother,
sister.
Yep, all sister. Nah, you're not doing this part though. Oh yeah, you may be following the moon, but what about this though?
That goes with it, right?
That go along with that too. You forgot about this part. I could easily do that, family, and y'all could do it for us, I'm sure. But that's why we don't lead with that, family.
That is dangerous.
We honor our brothers. And I'll say this too, what you were just saying, how, and this is what Paul is saying, family. Paul's saying you could be a stumbling block to your brother. If you lead with, nah, you're not doing it right. You got to do it this way. We tell the story 1,000 times. Y'all have heard it before about the sister that was in the troop with us. This was one of the reasons why she started, nah, sister, you're not doing this part right. It started with things like this. Instead of being, yeah, sister, you know what, I honor you that you're trying to do it. You're trying to walk this out the best way that you can.
Yes.
But no, you got to do it this way.
Right. And I didn't agree with the stuff that she was doing. But at the same time, I understood the work out your own salvation with fear and trembling.
Right.
Now, that's where I was at the time. Because I wasn't always there. I was one of the hothead ones at the beginning too. Meaning like,
if you're not doing it this way.
Yeah, judgmental. Right. That's
right.
what I mean by hothead.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, I tried. I guess that's why I was able to have the mercy towards her too, because I realized that's not the way to go. It's a trap. It is a trap because you can become a stumbling block. Now, what if I was weak in my belief and would have just been like, man, everybody turning away, man, forget this.
Yep. We wouldn't be here today, family. We wouldn't be here today at all. And that was what we was babes in the faith when that happened too.
And we have to be careful too, because even with that spirit, you may be thinking that the other person who may be weak may fall off, but it may be you.
Yes.
Just because you're operating in that ruach, and Yah does not like that. He does not like that. He doesn't want to. We know that they're gonna have division or whatever, but it's about peace. Us, we promote peace.
Yes.
We don't promote no contention and trying to go back and forth with people and just being
our
in
way
contention.
Is right, and then your way is wrong.
We often say, and we're gonna say this again. You're not gonna ever find the 100% truth right here. You know why? Because nobody has it.
Nope.
But Yahuwah.
Exactly.
He's the only one. Him and
the ruach. He said the ruach gonna guide you in all truth.
Right. We don't know, and it says we all know in part and prophesied in part. In part, which means we none have it all right. There's gonna be some error in each one of us.
Yes. And anybody woofing and hollering, I got the 100% truth and everybody else wrong, family, you better run.
You better run.
You better run.
That's not
family.
scripture.
You better run.
Y'all didn't teach us that, neither did Yahushua. He's the only one that knows all.
Yep.
That knows everything.
Yep.
He's the only one.
Absolutely.
Only one. We have to be humble, family.
Absolutely. Because listen, family, look. Sister Abiyah, Brother Rasha, y'all wrong. Y'all don't have the truth. Because the scripture said this. Family, Yah said himself about the days, times, calendars, all these things. Yah said he gonna change it, family. So if you got somebody to be mad with, be mad with him, family.
You don't want to be mad with
him. I'm just saying to be upset with
him,
whatever. Because he the one that changed it, family. He allowed it to happen. It was written about in Jubilees chapter 6, starting at verse 30. You want to read it out the book or?
Okay, yes.
Yeah, pull it from the book.
This is Jubilees. You all, let me mention this too before we go further. A lot of times when people look at our content, they often ask, please let us know what Bible you're reading. We just want to mention that we have some messages already, videos that we put out that talks about our resources. And it tells you everything, all the books that we use. A lot of times we are using, you have our seafood?
No.
Not today? Okay. Today. But when we study, it's sometimes when we're reading out the Sefer, we're studying, comparing with the Sefer, and we use the King James as well, but we compare it with the Sefer. We're not one that goes around saying you have to use
certain Bible. Family, listen, we came into the truth with the King James Bible. Family.
Yes, and they had people that made us feel bad for that. Like because we used it. Like, oh, King James was supposed to be this and that and gay and all, like all of these. I'm like, what? So the Ruach can't help us to decipher between some stuff. Exactly. Like the Ruach can't teach us.
What about our ancestors? And they never had none of them.
They never had none of it.
So then you mean to tell me they didn't have the Ruach or they was wicked?
And we believe in the restoration of the names. We love the books that's attempted to restore the names. That's why we invested in the Sefer. And any other Bibles that do. They said the Hallelujah, but I think the Hallelujah, if I'm not mistaken, they have the
paleo letters.
Right, the letters. Name. But when I read up on it, they said they have that because people say it different.
They pronounce it different.
Right. But I'm just saying, we have to be careful with those things because many people, like, they don't have the resources.
Exactly. Same family. Some of these books is $100, $200.
Yes. Not everybody have the resources. One of them I think is $500.
So
yes, and a lot of people. I mean, the economy we live in, we can't forget. A lot of people don't have the resources to get these types of books.
We've been in the truth for what over 13 years, and we
took us a long long time.
We just got a CFA, family.
It took us a long time.
So we wasn't in the truth before we didn't have the
right.
CFA. We didn't know nothing about the truth.
Right.
Till we got the CFA. That's a lie, family. That's a lie. We got it. We invested in it.
Right, and we're not talking against it.
Right, we're not talking against any of these books.
If you want one, we always put the link in the description because we think it's a good investment.
It's a good resource.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. But that's not going to stop you from getting into knowing about the truth.
To make a person feel like they're not going to be saved unless they have this particular book.
Exactly.
That's a scary thing. We just encourage people not to get the newer ones, the newer Bibles, because a lot of them have been altered.
Mm-hmm.
You know. But I just wanted to mention that. Please
and a lot of these different books too, like the Book of Jubilees. We have them links on our website.
We often use this and put this up.
Right.
But yes, this is the what you're gonna put up the
right. We have the free PDFs and we have the link to the book that we actually use.
We tried now, you guys. You can go on our website too because we starting to put up free resources for you all because we trying to help everybody save money.
Right. And a lot of people too ask about the music and stuff like that.
Right. Yes, that's good to mention. Because we have some sisters and brothers. Well, sisters, not the brothers, but the sisters who've asked about music. But even for the brothers as well, we have some on our website too with set apart music, and we're gonna continue to keep updating them. If any of you know of some, let us know. Send us a message so that we can include
Drop it in the comments. Right.
We love to support our brothers and sisters in this walk. Oh yes. But just wanted to mention that. But this is the book we're reading out of, the Book of Jubilees by R.H. Charles. Ooh, that was a little rant. Huh?
Chapter 6, verse 34. Yep.
Okay. So it says, well, we're gonna start with 33.
And this is just talking about how Yah confounded the days, family.
Okay.
He switched up everything.
I'm gonna start with 33.
Go ahead.
I have it highlighted. But it says, but if they do neglect and do not observe them according to his commandment. Well, hold on. No, I wanted to. This is why, because I had put it here. Kind of good. Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna start at 30. It says, and all the days of the commandment will be 250 weeks of days, and these will make the entire year complete. Thus, it is engraven and ordained on the heavenly tables, and there is no neglecting this commandment for a single year or from year to year. And command thou children of Israel that they observe the years according to this reckoning, 364 days, and these will constitute a complete year, and they will not disturb its time from its days and from its feasts, for everything will fall out in them according to their testimony, and they will not leave out any day nor disturb any feast. But if they do neglect and do not observe them according to his commandment, then they will disturb all their seasons.
He gonna do what?
Disturb all their seasons. Did he say he would do that? And how many times we read where they wasn't being obedient? They was never obedient.
Exactly. All throughout the scriptures.
All throughout the scriptures. Even look with the Pharisees.
Yep.
They believed in the law. So they was walking around like they was keeping it.
Exactly. Putting heavy burdens on people. That's what they was doing.
Yes. So it says, but if they do not neglect and do not observe them according to his commandment, then they will disturb all their seasons, and the years will be dislodged dislodged from this order. And they will disturb the seasons, and the years will be dislodged. And they will neglect their ordinances, and all the children of Israel will forget and will not find the path of years.
They will forget and not find the path of years, family.
And will forget the new moons and seasons
and Sabbaths.
And they will go wrong as to all the order of the years.
Family, this is y'all talking.
Yes.
They're going to get all these things wrong, all the dates wrong. All the order of the years, the Sabbaths, the moons.
Right.
The feasts.
For I know, and from henceforth shall I declare it unto thee, and it is not of my own devising. For the book lieth written before me, and on the heavenly tables the division of days is ordained. What?
He's saying it. I did this from the beginning.
He said on the heavenly tables.
On the tables, it's ordained.
It's ordained. You hear that? It's ordained.
Lest they forget.
The division of days is ordained, lest they forget the feast of the covenant and walk according to the feast of the Gentiles after their error, after their ignorance. For there will be those who will assuredly make observations of the moon. Now it disturbeth the seasons, and cometh in from year to year 10 days too soon.
So that's why you got the Sabbath, the lunar Sabbatarian saying, nah, it's the 15th. Another one saying, no, it's the 14th.
It says, for this reason the years will come upon them when they will disturb the order.
This is Yah family.
And the disturbance of the order is because of rebellion.
Right.
And make an abominable day. Oh, that's what he means. Okay, disturb the order and make an abominable day. And make an abominable day of testimony. And an unclean day a feast day. And they will confound all the days. The holy with the unclean. And the unclean day with the holy. For they will go wrong as to the months, and Shabbats, the Sabbaths, and the feasts, and the jubilees. For this reason I command and testify to thee, that thou mayest testify to them. For after thy death thy children will disturb them, so that they will not make the year 364 days only. And for this reason they will go wrong as to the new moons, and seasons, and Sabbaths, and festivals, and they will eat all kinds of blood with all kinds of flesh.
Y'all said they're going to go wrong, family. According to how the dates and everything will be set up. It's all going to be confounded, family. It's all going to be dislodged. You know how many days we off from keeping the days right? Multiply them hundreds of years of all the days that we got wrong.
All I know is we in the land of our captivity. And so to just be like we fully got it right 100%, that's kind of like dangerous. I'm saying to be looking at the brethren in that way, like the brothers and sisters, like, oh no, you're not doing it right. You should be doing it my way and all of that. No, just keep the peace and respect how your brother and sister is attempting to get it right, because we all are attempting to get it right.
Absolutely.
And Yah is a judge of the heart. What we said, not what we said, what he said. He desires mercy, not sacrifice. So Yah is not going to be judging like us.
Nope.
We have to remember that he's not like man.
Exactly.
It's going to be completely different. I want to see that heart.
Absolutely.
What you got in that heart?
Well, I don't give a what we say. You can do it 1,000% correct, family. That heart full of stone, heart wicked. Y'all like, I'm going to let that Gentile in here. That Gentile who had a righteous heart.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what's going to happen, family.
Yeah.
You going to get cut off.
And look who got the Ruach.
Yep.
Who more humble than you.
Exactly.
It's just the truth.
Exactly.
Because that's who's going to enter. And it's just the truth.
Right.
Our brothers and sisters who are Gentiles, that's who's going to enter.
Exactly.
The ones who more humble and got the Ruach.
Yep.
So we
Something that we have to
careful.
remember, family, is that all of this, what we're doing, what we're saying, family, this is a shadow of things to come, family.
Yep.
From Genesis all the way to Revelation, all the things that will happen is a shadow of the things to come. That's what we can't forget, family. Paul talked about it. Colossians chapter 2, starting at verse 16, he says, let no one judge you in food or in drink or regarding a festival or a new moon or Sabbaths, which are a shadow of things to come. but the substance is Mashiach. That's why Mashiach said, I will give you rest.
Take my yoke and learn of me.
The substance is him, family.
My yoke is easy and my burden is light. You hear what Paul is saying? That's why he's saying learn of Mashiach. Because remember when Mashiach was walking around, he was full of mercy.
Yep.
You remember that lady that was doing that was found committing adultery? What he told them Pharisees, those who are without sin, cast the first stone.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
How much mercy did he have when he walked the earth?
More than us.
We gotta be
more
careful.
More than us. Absolutely.
We got to be careful.
More than us.
He said, let no one judge you in food or drink. Now let's make it clear, because somebody,
we're not coming with
the
Christianity I can eat pork and all that.
Whatever I want to eat. That's not what this is saying.
Remember, this is saying that they were sacrificing food to idols.
Right.
So right. That's what they were discussing. Right.
It's important coming into this truth. Like if you're a new believer, that you read the entirety of the message.
Read it in context, family.
Read it in context. Read the full chapter. Because when you read the full chapter, you're going to understand the entirety of the message. Because sometimes you can read a verse and then you'll think this is what it means. Right. But then when you read the entirety of it, you're like, oh no, okay, now I see this is what it actually means.
Right. Absolutely.
But and judge you in food or in drink, in regarding a festival or a new moon or or Sabbaths.
Which are a shadow of the things
Which are a shadow of the things to come. It's saying it right here. And then we're about to share some more stuff with you to confirm these things.
Let's look at Barnabas. And we have the link on our website. You can check it out. But Barnabas, if y'all don't know, guys, Barnabas was one of the apostles with Paul. And he has a book. In fact, he wrote the book of Hebrews. They say he's the author of the book of Hebrews. But he has his own epistle also. It's called the Epistle of Barnabas. So we're going to read where he talked about the shadow of the things to come. What's going to happen? What's that rest? What's the rest that Yahushua was talking about? What's that rest that Paul is talking about? Let's look at that. Barnabas, starting at chapter 13, verse 1.
Okay. Okay. It says, furthermore, it is written concerning the Sabbath in the 10 Commandments, which Elohim spoke in the Mount Sinai to Moses, face to face. Sanctify the Sabbath of Yahuwah with pure hands and with a clean heart. And elsewhere he said, if your children shall keep my Sabbath, then will I put my mercy upon them. He said, and even in the beginning of the creation, he makes mention of the Sabbath. Right. And Elohim made in 6 days the works of his hands, and he finished them on the 7th day. And he rested on the 7th day and sanctified
That's what we read about at the beginning of the lesson, family. If you just tuning in, go back and watch it.
Consider, my children, what that signifies. He finished them in 6 days. The meaning of this is this. That, oh wow, now he's about to break it down and tell us what's the meaning of all of that.
What it means.
He says, do you want me to read it?
Go ahead.
He says, the meaning of this is this, that in 6,000 years, Yahuwah Elohim will bring all things to an end. For with him, 1 day is 1,000 years. As himself testifies, saying, behold, this day shall be as 1,000 years. Therefore, children, in 6 days, that is, in 6,000 years, shall all things be accomplished. And what is that he said? And he rested the 7th day. He means this. Now he's about to tell us what that actually means when it says, and he rested the 7th day. He means this, that when his son shall come and abolish the season of the wicked one and judge the ungodly and shall change the sun and moon and stars, then he shall gloriously rest in that 7th day. Did that happen yet?
Don't sound like it.
You all, did that happen yet, what we just talked about? It says, when his son shall come and abolish the season of the wicked one and judge the ungodly. And shall change the sun and moon and the stars, then he shall gloriously rest in that 7th day. He adds, now I'm on verse 7. He adds, lastly, you shall sanctify it with clean hands and a pure heart. Y'all
listen, family.
With clean hands
and a pure
heart. What that sound like? Spiritual.
Right?
Clean hands and a pure heart. Wherefore we are greatly deceived if we imagine that anyone can now sanctify that day which Elohim has made holy without having a heart pure in all things.
Isn't that what we're striving for each and every day, family? That's why we always talking about transform your heart, family.
What King David said, create in me a clean
heart.
A
clean heart.
It's about our hearts becoming circumcised. We want the circumcision of our hearts. We want y'all to circumcise our hearts because we can't do it.
Nope. Not at all.
It says, wherefore we are greatly deceived if we imagine that anyone can now sanctify that. Oh, I read that already, that day which Elohim has made holy without having a heart pure in all things. Behold, therefore, he will then truly sanctify it with blessed rest. When we haven't received the righteous promise, when iniquity shall be no more, all things being renewed by the Master, shall be able to sanctify it, being ourselves first made holy, which is what he's doing with us every day. Absolutely. As we are striving to be perfect as our Father is in heaven. Lastly, he said to them, your new moons and your Sabbaths, I cannot bear them.
Nope. We read that, family.
This is from Barnabas. This is the new covenant.
Yep.
The new covenant.
Pulling all from the old.
He said, lastly, he said to them, your new moons and your Sabbaths, I cannot bear them. Consider that he means by it. The Sabbaths, he says, which you now keep are not acceptable to me. But those which I have made when resting from all things, I shall begin the 8th day. That 8th day never came yet.
And listen, family, say that again where he said, the Sabbaths, he says, which you now keep are not acceptable to me. Family, our Sabbaths are not acceptable to him, family. We're doing the best that we can. It's not really set apart because we're in the land of our captivity. Right. We're not doing everything, family. Right. How could it be holy? How could it be set apart? All the way if we're in our captivity.
This is why we're not supposed to look at the law as we trying to earn our salvation or our works is going to get us into the kingdom. It's really our hearts. The things that we are attempting to do is because we love Yah. And we're doing this because we want to have that time with him. This is us coming, like doing this from our hearts for Yah. But it's not acceptable because we're in the land of our captivity. Things have changed. A lot have changed. You've heard about the moons being changed. And the sun. I mean, like all of the order being changed. So that's what we're saying when we say not acceptable. We're not saying that don't do it. Right. That's not what we're saying. We just have to understand these things so that we can stop being so critical. And I'm not saying everybody, of course not, but we do see it, and that's why we talk about it. Not being so critical towards our brothers and sisters. We got to work out our own salvation with fear and trembling. If they believe they're doing it right and that's what y'all have given them, then what you think y'all going to do? Say, oh no, I'm not receiving that. And they're walking with a pure heart.
Exactly. And they dedicating that time to y'all. They putting that rest. They rested.
How
thinking
can that
on
be
him,
wrong?
thinking of good things.
Dedicating any day to y'all. Any day.
Yahuwah said it is rightful to do these things on the Sabbath.
On the Sabbath. Yes. And Sabbath really is what? Rest.
It is rest, family.
Because we just read the seventh day yet. I mean, the seventh day that they're talking about is not complete.
Not yet.
This is what it's saying here.
Not yet.
And it says, let me see where I was. I think it's 9. Lastly, he said to them, I think, did I read that?
Start consider what he means.
Okay, consider what he means by it. The Sabbaths, he says, which you now keep are not acceptable to me, but those which I have made, when resting from all things, I shall begin the 8th day, that is the beginning of the other world. For which cause we observe the 8th day with gladness, in which Yahushua rose from the dead, and having manifested himself to his disciples, ascended. Ascended. You all right? Ascended into heaven.
This is deep, family. This is what they were talking about the shadow of the things to come.
Yes.
This is what's coming, family. This is it's not holy, family. It's only going to be holy when Yahushua returns. This is when we're going to be doing it right.
To completely purify
exactly everything. We in a fleshly, sinful body, family.
That's why that has to come off.
Exactly.
Our bodies, our flesh has to be removed. It has to come off. Y'all's not. He's not taking that flesh.
No.
We have to have a glorified body.
Exactly. So that's what we have to look forward to, family. So, I mean, this is so deep, family, when we think about it. And are we saying, Sister Abiyah, don't do the Sabbath? Absolutely. Because this is spiritual. That's what y'all saying?
No, not at all.
We saying, family, don't boast against your brothers. Each of us are all. We just read the scripture where it says none of us is not acceptable to Yah because we in these sinful, fleshly bodies, family. Yes. It's not sanctified. We're in the land of our captivity. The calendars, the dates, all these things have changed. So I don't care how much you boasting and hollering about you doing it 100% correct. Yah said in Jubilees that he confounded the whole thing.
Because of all of the sin.
He dislodged everything. So yeah, you think you're doing it right, but you're doing it 10 days too soon.
And you know what? It makes sense. Think about it. All of the sin that was going on. And again, as the scriptures tells us, there's nothing new under the sun. We still see it today.
Exactly.
We still see it today. So y'all is like, I want your heart.
Yep. That's what I'm worried about.
I want your heart.
That's what I'm worried about.
You keep boasting in all these physical words, but where is the heart?
That heart? That's what I want.
That's what I'm looking for. It got to be deeper than that for me. Exactly. So I want you to understand this. It's going to be confounded. I ain't saying, we ain't telling nobody don't keep no law.
No.
We're going to make that clear.
Y'all go watch our law keepers and deniers.
Right, because you know what? They still going to have someone. A Pharisee, somebody that's gonna say, they lawless. They're teaching people not to keep, because it's not their way.
Nope, exactly, because we're not doing it how they doing it. That's the same thing what Yahushua was dealing
with. I hate to use teaching because we never wanted to be looked at as we some teachers or no big names or none of that stuff. But I mean, they're not I'm gonna just say that's their mindset. Right. They're not teaching it the way I would be teaching it. But the main thing is the relationship.
Absolutely.
And we often tell that to everybody when they listen to our messages, that our goal has always been from the beginning to lead people closer to Yah and to develop a stronger relationship with Yahuwah.
Absolutely. And that's what we were talking about at the beginning, family, when we established it, that Yah wanted that rest. That's from Genesis all the way till the end, family. He wants that rest. This is what he wants from us. Lay your burdens. Put your burdens down. I'm just asking you for one day. Dedicate that to me. Spend time with me. I'm not asking for much. So to us, that's why the Sabbath is important.
Right.
It's
because
a
it
rest.
was important
Yes,
for him.
It was important for him where he said, look, just take one day out your week. 6 you can work. Mm-hmm. Just take one day out your week and focus on me. Mm-hmm. Do that for me. Mm-hmm. So that's how we look at it, family. Yes. When you start getting into all the technical stuff,
right?
That's when it kind of gets mixed up and you get lost in the sauce, family.
Because you want to be honest. Mm-hmm. Every day is a Sabbath day. Yes, it should be a Sabbath day for believers.
We're resting in it, right?
Because really, you want to say?
Go ahead.
Really, now that we're in this walk, it's supposed to be that we are resting from our old selves, who we used to be. We are striving to live a life according to Yah's word. I mean, His word, yes, His commandments. How he instructed us, how Yahuwah instructed us. That is we really supposed to be resting from all of that.
Right.
From the old man, who we used to be. Yes. And from a lot of all of the physical works that our forefathers did and was attempting to do without the heart, but was attempting to do, and as you can clearly see, they still wasn't getting it. They
had everything, family. Had the Ark of the Covenant, had the Torah, had the scrolls, had the names, everything, family. Had the temple.
More than us.
Had the sacrifices.
All of it.
Still wasn't enough.
Still wasn't enough.
Nope.
Still wasn't
none
enough.
Of that. Saw the miracles. Still wasn't enough.
Every day should be a Sabbath for us. But definitely you choose a day or whatever the situation is. You let Yah put that on your heart on what you should do.
Yep.
When you should choose. Us, we don't do any teachings on how this is how you keep the Sabbath, because we just believe it. We don't go around and saying, oh, this is our way is the best way, the right way. It's really you work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. That's what we do.
Right.
That's what we're doing. As long as we giving that time to Yah.
Exactly. And that's how we look at it. That's why when we come on here and we doing it the Friday evening to the Saturday evening, because a lot of our brothers and sisters, that's when they worship.
Right.
So this is really us coming together worshiping.
And what Yah said, keep that day holy, right?
Holy. Yep. It's supposed to be a holy convocation, a holy assembly. This is our assembly, family. This is what we're doing. So we're looking at the heart of this. We're dedicating that time to Yah, but we're looking at the heart of the matter. This is our time to interact with our brothers and sisters and dedicate this time to Yah.
Yes.
So that's how we look at it,
we
family.
do a lot of studying.
Exactly.
It's a lot that we do around this time. Before this time and around this time.
Exactly. Absolutely. So let's close with this scripture, family, when we're talking about that rest. Hebrews chapter 4, starting at verse 1. You want to read that?
It says, therefore, since a promise remains of entering his rest.
This is what we're talking about, family.
This is Hebrews. It says, therefore, since a promise remains of entering his rest, let us fear lest any of you seem to have come short of it. For indeed, the good news was preached to us as well as them,
as our ancestors.
But the word which they heard did not profit them, not being mixed with belief in those who heard it. For we who have believed do enter the rest. As he said, so I swore in my wrath, they shall not enter my rest, although the works were finished from the foundations of the world. For he has spoken in a certain place of the seventh day in this way. And Yah rested on the seventh day from all his works. And again, in this place, they shall not enter my rest. Since, therefore, it remains that some must enter it. Some must enter it.
Some must enter it.
And those to whom it was first preached did not enter because of disobedience. Now, they can't be talking about Sabbath. I'm talking about the type of Sabbath back then, because the disobedient ones was keeping Sabbath.
Right.
They were keeping Sabbath.
Yep.
He said, preach did not enter because, wait, let me see. They did, wait. And those to whom it was first preached did not enter because of disobedience. Again, he designates a certain day, saying in David, today, after such a long time, as it has been said, today if you will hear his voice, do not harden your hearts. It's a hard thing.
Want that heart, family.
They was keeping the Sabbath, but they didn't have that heart.
Nope. Wicked as all get out.
For if Joshua, which is Yahushua, had given them rest, then he would not afterward have spoken of another day.
It's talking about Joshua and then bring them into the land of Canaan, family. Old Testament Joshua.
There remains therefore a rest for the people of Yah. What?
Yep.
For he who has entered his rest has himself also ceased from his works, as Yah did from his.
You can keep reading. 11.
It says, let us therefore be diligent to enter that rest.
Yes.
Lest anyone fall according to the same example of disobedience. For the word of Yah is living and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing even to the division of the soul and the spirit, and of joints and marrow, and is a discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart. And there is no creature hidden from his sight, but all things are naked and open to the eyes of him to whom we must give account.
That's it, family. That's the walk, family. That's what we've been saying this whole message. When he said, let us therefore be diligent to enter that rest, lest anyone fall according to the same example of disobedience. Family, that's what we was reading when we was reading throughout the Old Covenant, how our ancestors, how they profaned Yah's Sabbath. They had everything, family. They had the sacrifices. They had the names. They had the temple. They still were disobedient. Why? Because all I have to do is works. I don't have to worry about my heart. That's why I could sell fish plates on the Sabbath. I can take a load out of my house on the Sabbath.
Wow.
I could go to Jerusalem with my donkey full of goods on the Sabbath. Because I'm just worried about stuff in my pockets. I'm not focused on that rest, family. This is what Barnabas was talking about in Hebrews. He's talking about we got to focus on that eternal rest, family. Making it to the end. Enduring to the end. So is it hard for Yah to ask us for one day, give us one day? Because we want that eternal rest, family. We not worried about this one day or this, that's going to be an inconvenience for me. We want that eternal. That's
when you say we're not worried about that one day.
No, I'm talking about when people will be like, I'm not worried about that. I don't have to do the Sabbath. I don't have to do none of these things. It's not about works or none of that. Yah is just saying, look, just think about me for one day.
Right.
Focus on me.
Right.
Things I've done for you. What I brought you through. What I brought your ancestors through. That's so hard to do that.
Right.
But no, I want to watch television. I want to watch the game. I got work to do.
Too busy.
Yeah, you second, y'all. I'll get to you later. Disobedience, family. And no, we don't do these things to say, this is going to get us into the kingdom. We doing it to honor Yah, to be closer to him.
Right.
Because to have that relationship. Because we love him, family. That's why we're doing it. We're not boasting in it, family. Scripture tells us to work out our salvation with fear and trembling, family. This is why we do these things. So, family, that was our lesson. We hope it was edifying. We know we kept y'all kind of long, but this was a deep lesson, family. I hope you got
this is one of those
revelations that, we learned some stuff. We learned a lot of stuff, family. So we just hope that we put a lot of this to debate to rest. How you do the Sabbath, go to Yah. Don't worry about, Sister Abiyah and Brother Rasha, they do it this way.
And so I want to do it their way.
I want to know how they know. You do it.
But that means you don't understand what you're doing and why you're doing it.
Exactly.
You see, we want people to actually go to Yah so that they can actually understand that the Ruach says it's going to teach us, right? Yep. It says so that no brother or sister, none of us have to go and tell each other, know Yahuwah.
Right. Because they all gonna know
they
him.
All gonna know
everybody gonna know him. You're gonna have that relationship with
yes.
him,
family. And that's why we do this. Because we want everyone to go straight to Yah and to have their own relationship. Because when we were in Christianity, most of us, what we were doing was just following along with whatever what the pastor say, right? And so we never had that relationship. And so now we like, go to Yah.
Yep.
Because he's not going to steer you in the wrong direction, because we know that
nobody leads you astray.
Right. And we know that he desires mercy and not sacrifice.
Yep.
And if you seek him, you're going to find him if you search for him with all your heart. That's what his word says. He's going to tell you what you need to, what you want to know. And he's going to lead you to do what he wants you to do.
Absolutely. Yep. So, good lesson, family. Again, we enjoy fellowshipping with you all.
Yep. And I want to say, no matter what day you keep the Sabbath, we love you all. You are our brothers.
Absolutely.
You are our sisters. We don't judge based on that. We love all of you because we're all trying to get it right.
Absolutely.
We all trying to get it right.
That's all we doing, family. With what we have. Trying to get it right with the information that we have, family. But y'all want our hearts. That's what we know.
We know that much.
We know that much. He want our hearts, family.
We know that
He want that. And no calendar can bring that to him. None of these wrong days. None of that. None of these years, months.
It'd be beautiful if we had all of that. What the Israelites had back then. I would love it. I would love to be able to just see it and say, oh, this is how it goes exactly. So that I can do it. And y'all know that's the thing. Y'all knows those of us who feel that way and who know. He knows if they had it, they would do it that way.
Absolutely.
But we're doing the best we can with what we have.
Yep. And that's it. All right, family. We love y'all. We hope you enjoy the rest of your day. And we will talk to y'all on the next one.
Love you all.
Shalom.